but we have a place called the Drumbag Stone Circle, which is maybe 40 minutes down the road, and it's 5,000 years old, and it has, I think, 12 standing stones, and then like an altar stone, and it's up on up above the water.
Hello, everyone. I am Claudiu Murgan, the host of the Spiritual Inspire podcast. Welcome to a new episode. My guest today is my friend and brother, Lou Martin. Lou, thank you very much for joining me today. It's an honor.
Thank you, Claudio, and thank you for all the accommodations you've made for this moment to happen. A lot of
Yes,
adjustments.
you are in Ireland, so we are 5-6 hours apart. So that's why we had to jiggle the timing and
Yes,
coordinate a little bit better. So
yes,
I would like to start by asking you, you were born in the USA and then you moved to Ireland. Why? What made you
sure,
jump the ocean?
sure. Well, can I start with a prayer?
Of course, please.
Okay, all right. That'll set the tone nicely. Thank you, brother. This is my current favorite, and I share it every chance I get. Say it every chance I get. It's the translation of from Aramaic to English of the Lord's Prayer, and it goes like this: O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desires. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you. Much more, much more profound and with a lot of, let's say, meaning and food for thought for sure.
Yeah. Well, you want to chat about my story, which I'm happy to do, but I just want to say we're definitely here, because you and I are on fire for the Almighty, whatever words we want to use. And it's just wonderful to keep this friendship and this connection going, and like yourself, I'm reaching out. I've had you on my program, and we'll have you back here anytime you like. So there's a lot of opening right now, and a lot of energy, and a lot of forward movement, and a lot of receptivity to spiritual ideas and spiritual energy. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Yes, and an idea came to me a while back while in meditation that I would like to be, because I have a full-time job, and like other people, we might live two different lives, one on a full-time job or whatever job and business we have, and then separate doing our own development. And I was thinking that I would love to be only on God's payroll and nothing else, and that would be amazing.
Yes, well, I'll hold that vision for you, my friend. Absolutely. Yes, this is our time, Claudio. And, of course, we can talk about the little election we just had in the US, if you like. That's been a source of inspiration for me, honestly. I shockingly, I backed the winning candidate this time, which has never happened before. Yeah. So, and I certainly wasn't a supporter of his 6 months ago. So it's been a breathtaking time of change. But things are changing quickly out there.
Yes, and I hope he will do at least half of what he said he's going to do. But again, there is too much, there's a lot of quietness from the other side, which worries me a little bit because you never know what they can come up with, especially when they gave up so easily. Either they are way too embarrassed and they want to push it under the rug, or they are preparing something else, which is, again, worrisome.
Sure. Where my hope comes from, no, that's all absolutely fair. Where my hope comes from is that there really has been a coming together. Like I'm a Bobby Kennedy Jr. fan. I followed him the last 4 or 5 years about the jibby jabby and trying to make sense of all of that madness, and also Del Bigtree and the High Wire. And so these are the people that I've learned to trust and to respect. And when they say they don't have any science, I don't know what they're talking about. They're nothing but science, frankly. But yeah, we'll see what happens, of course. But I see this coming together of teamwork and people that used to be in opposition to each other or used to be on the other side of things, and now we're all realizing that this is really a moment for real change. And there is a great spiritual dimension to all of this. I also want to point out there. And what's helped me understand this is that Trump was really propagandized and lied about for 8 years, to beyond a shadow of a doubt for me at this point. So people like Bobby Kennedy and Del Bigtree speaking up for Donald Trump, that got my attention, and I started to look a little deeper. And there is cause for much hope there. Gates, who wants to be Attorney General's talked about pardoning Edward Snowden, and that makes my heart leap for joy, because he was another fearless warrior
Yes.
out there who paid a great sacrifice to try to wake us up. So again, we'll see. It's early
Yes.
days.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned the spiritual side of this battle is also the fact that which impressed me, that after the winning was announced, or the winner was announced, Trump's camp said a prayer, and that was very powerful. I don't think the Democrats would have done that. So that tells a lot, tells volumes that this guy, I mean, he's not perfect. He lies, and he tells things which sometimes are not the way they are. But again, if he is going to do half of what he said he's going to do, and he put right now some people in the right places, people which again have certain character, and they might
Yeah,
make a change. They will change
yeah,
things in the USA.
yeah. I think this is the second American Revolution, which is what astrologically it says it's supposed to be, with the end of Pluto in Capricorn after 250 years this week. The 19th, it shifts into Aquarius. So it's all in divine timing.
And I think more people will awake the moment the real media, the alternative media, will come forward with proof of what's going on and what happened behind the scenes. Hollywood and all these big names, and everything they've been doing for many, many years. Their rituals and everything else. I think people either will shut down completely, not wanting to know about it, or they will really open up and say, okay, enough is enough. Well, let's move to the right side.
Yes, yes. That's very well said. Yeah, I think, it's the time of truth and truth speaking. And, I love the quote from the Buddha, who says 3 things that cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And eventually they all come back into sight. So here we go. We'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So going back to my initial question, why
Yes, sir.
Ireland?
Yes. So I have Irish ancestry. My family left during the famine, and so that's about the 1860s, right in there, around the time of the Civil War in America. And I don't know the details of all of that, but so I have these roots, and I'm very proud of that. And my story is literally, I fell in love with a beautiful young lady, a German woman named Rhiannon, and we met in Mount Shasta at a channeling conference with Joshua David Stone, who sadly passed at an early age, but he'd written 40 books, and he had 4 or 5 or 6 years of annual meetings in May on the Wesak full moon in Mount Shasta, and I got to be at 2 or 3 of those, and that's where I met Rhiannon. And I wound up getting invited to stay with her in Vienna, so I did that. And then after a year in Vienna, we moved to Ireland to be somewhere English speaking for her son, and we decided things weren't working out. And she decided, and I agreed with her, put it that way. And she showed me the door and the keys to the car, and I was on my own. And here I am, 17 years later, still enjoying the country and the people. So there we go.
Wow. And your spiritual awakening took place in the US or in
Yes.
Ireland?
No, in the US. Thank you for asking about that. So around August 1987, what was called the harmonic convergence, which Jose Arguelles had written a book about called The Mayan Factor. And I was working in a spiritual bookshop in Santa Monica, California, which no longer exists, sadly, but it was quite an institution at the time. And anyway, I read his book. He came to the store. I wasn't there that day, but I did read his book, and I thought this makes sense. This feels like it's important for me. And around that time, a friend of mine told me about Kundalini energy at the base of the spine, and he gave me this big piece of quartz crystal. And he says, if you meditate with the quartz crystal and you open your heart, your Kundalini energy might open. And I'd never heard of any of this before. And would you know, literally the very first time I tried to do that, I had a full-blown Kundalini awakening. So that was a little hint from the universe, a cosmic setup, a favor from God, basically. And so I had that, orgasmic electric energy shoot up my spine and out the top of my head. And my heart opened, and unconditional love. And then I felt I am a spiritual being having a human experience. This world is the illusion. The world of spirit is what's eternal. And I was in an altered state for about a week. So that was amazing. And then, of course, my own inner guidance after leaving several different schools and working in different bookshops and coming to this place, it was called the Phoenix. I had all these teachers, Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, on and on, Sam Keen, very amazing people, Robert Bly, Ram Dass, either through the shop directly or in the community, Michael Beckwith, Reverend Michael Beckwith at Agape. So I was just spoiled for choice, as they say in Ireland. And I just went to everything I could. And then also while there, there's a guy named Jack Purcell who channels a spirit guide named Lazarus. And that was the first channeling I was ever invited to, was on the harmonic convergence at a hotel in LA somewhere. And I was sitting in the front row and we came in early, looked back, and the place was full, and there must have been 1,000 people there. And I'm like, well, this is interesting, And then the guy comes in and he starts to hi, I'm Jack, and here comes Lazarus, and Lazarus is completely different from Jack, and off we go. So they've been my teacher for 40 years nearly.
Interesting. And you
Yeah.
mentioned Jose Arguelles. In fact, I have a close friend. He lives in Seattle right now. And he met and he was friends with Jose. And he has a manuscript of a book, which, is waiting to be published. I don't know if it's going to ever happen. My friend has some health challenges, but I am talking to his family to see if we can get the manuscript and put the book out there, because it's important.
Sure. I would be fascinated to read that, of course, and hear more about it. Arguelles was head and shoulders above most of the teachers of his time about all of this,
Yes, and my friend asked him once, do you understand what you write in your books? And Jose said, sometimes. So everything, everything was channeled. Yes.
Sure. Yes. Well, it was an amazing thing, because I can't tell you how many times I hear people refer to the harmonic convergence over the last, 37 years or whatever it's been. I think that's right. And, and one of my favorite teachers is Patricia Cota Robles, and I follow her faithfully. She's just done a beautiful new post. We might do this when we're finishing up here today, about the violet flame. Patricia talks about how 11/11, which I think was Monday, we're at Friday now. 11/11 was, and the full moon, happy full moon. 11/11 is the beginning of 40 days towards the winter solstice, and that with Pluto about to leave Capricorn and move into Aquarius, Jim Self and Tim Wilde and others that I like to follow, are all talking about this is the end of 3D. So this really is the end of the illusions of separation and duality as being the only way to look at our experience here. And honestly, the other excitement is there's a lot of mostly young, very gifted women channeling out there, and man, they are just coming out with messages every day. The depth, the clarity, the passion is just breathtaking. So I know we're in a powerful moment here right now.
Yeah, it is very exciting, and I made my my mission to impact and empower as many people as possible at the level I am right now. And while this level will increase, I hope to my reach to increase as well. And the synchronicities in my life lately are just unbelievable, and I'm
Beautiful.
laughing. I'm just even yesterday something amazing happened. I met a friend, in fact, a colleague from school. I haven't met him in 45 years.
Wow.
And it's just happened through a chain of events,
Right.
unexpected. And it takes a lot for me to impress me. But when he opened the door, I was just speechless. I
Wow.
just couldn't believe it. And we met in
Beautiful.
Canada, I mean, it's out
Right.
of all places. So
Right.
these synchronicities are everywhere these days, and we have to pay attention.
Yes. So is he Romanian? Is that your background?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you met this fellow Romanian in Montreal, or where are you at
No, in
again?
in Toronto.
Toronto. In Toronto, and you're looking at each other like, what are the chances of this, dear God?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and he has pretty much the same background here in Canada as me. And he mentioned Reiki and energy, so he's pretty much on the same path. So we
Yeah.
have to keep in touch and develop the relationship that we didn't have in the last 45, 47 years.
Sure. Beautiful. Beautiful. Claudio, my friend, I interviewed a lady named Fran Bailey a couple days ago, and I'll put the two of you together. She had a near-death experience at the age of 12. She drowned in a canoe accident, was revived, and was hearing spirit, working with spirit from that point forward. She's in her 50s or 60s, I'd say, a beautiful lady, a professional dancer,
I
and
know her.
also, you know Fran.
I interviewed her. Yes.
Of course, you're friends. We're both friends with Kathy. Of course, how
Yes.
quickly I
Yeah.
forgot here. So anyway, we had a wonderful chat about all this as well, and about the election, and talking about the healing that needs to happen in America and around the world around our differences and our misunderstandings, and to focus on what we have in common. So great. I'll send you the interview if you like. It was a lovely chat. And then tomorrow I'm chatting with Michael Abramson, who is the guy who was one of the people instrumental in stopping Hurricane Milton from destroying Florida a few months ago. Amazing guy. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Interesting. And you mentioned, hurricanes and let's say um, winds and water and the combination of both. I interviewed Evelyn Risdick. She is from the US, but
Okay, I don't know her.
she explains how she works with storms, how she uh, um, beg or not beg necessarily. She asked the storm to discharge somewhere else because
Okay,
on the land the storm will destroy, the hurricane will destroy. So go
right.
outside, go somewhere else and discharge your thunder,
Yeah,
discharge
yeah,
your power, and be yourself somewhere else. And she can work with this type of weather events to
right,
prevent disaster.
right. Well, great. I would love to connect with her, because the other one that I know who did this for Milton in Florida is a woman named Anahata Holly Hallowell, who I'll also gladly connect you with. And she was also out there, just a few miles from Michael. And Milton went from a Category 6, which is unprecedented, 200 miles an hour, to a 1. And when it actually made landfall, the eye broke up. And Anahata talked about how the water actually got 12 degrees cooler, and that's what she was working on. And Michael was just out there on the beach, praying this thing to, as you said, to, spare us, go somewhere else, being in his power, and, channeling Archangel Michael and things like this. So we're going to have a nice chat. I'll send that to you, or you might come on to that tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect. Although
Yeah,
I know, I mean, I interviewed other guests who visited Ireland or they live in Ireland and they had an amazing experience visiting the sacred sites. Have you had the chance in the last 17 years to do your pilgrimage?
sure, sure. I mean, I've been to, we're very blessed here, as you're saying, because there are so many sacred sites in Ireland. My first 5 years here, I had a car and I was driving around and seeing everything for the first time, and it was wonderful. And then I've given up the car in the last 10 years or so because I've, found a nice part of the country. I'm in West Cork, which it really suits me to a T. But we have a place called the Drumbag Stone Circle, which is maybe 40 minutes down the road, and it's 5,000 years old, and it has, I think, 12 standing stones, and then like an altar stone, and it's up on a up above the water, and there's a few other sacred circles of stone around that, which people go to, and I've gone to for ceremony and just for healing and to get grounded and reconnected. There are many others, a place called La Crue, which is at the top of this great hill where you can see 20 of the Irish counties, supposedly. You see the whole country. And, there are some sacred stones up there. We were there doing ceremony for one of the equinoxes or the solstices, and that was very, very powerful. I've not been to Newgrange yet. That's still on my to-do list. The 5,000-year-old stone circle in Meath, where the winter solstice, the sun penetrates to the core of the stone. That's extraordinary. Yeah, there's a lot to see here. There's so much.
And do you expect to spend many, many years in Ireland? Do you have any plans to return to the USA and pay tribute to Mount Shasta or not?
Sure. Well, like yourself, my friend, I'm, keeping body and soul and together and trying to keep everybody happy and still, paddle ahead, on the river of life for moments like this, my dear brother, of joy and fellowship here. But yeah, I have no plans to go anywhere at the moment. But I'm always open to any possibilities. I'm very lucky that I also have a lovely couple in the States, Ian Morris and Fallon Morningstar. And Ian has a record label called listeningtosmile.com, and he's invited me to record my music with him. So I'm going to do that here at some point. But meanwhile, they have a magazine called Frequency Minded Magazine. And they've just published their 4th issue, and I'm on 2 of the issues. And it's wonderful introduction of artists and healers and things like this. I was just chatting with Fallon this morning about another friend who's an artist. So yeah, as we're saying, we're really kind of gathering the tribe and getting the band together these days and trying to recognize each other and support each other. So yeah, I think we're definitely in a new chapter here. Things are definitely lifting up big time.
Yeah. So as long as the internet is active, we are all together, we can reach each other. So distance is irrelevant.
Yes. Exactly. It's the other part of it is, of course, Claudiu, like we're talking about Kundalini and energy work and things like this. We've had all these incredible solar flares, and the Schumann resonance keeps going up in relationship to all of that. And what Patricia mentioned on her talk on Monday was really inviting us, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I have the Earth here, inviting us to keep tuning into Mother Earth consciously. You have your beautiful background there as well, and that she's having us work with the elementals, earth, air, fire, water, and ether. And that her statement from Spirit is that as the energies tune up and ramp up, that we're holding that space, the awakened humanity, she calls us. We're holding the energetically sensitive and responsive, respectful people, ourselves and many others, thank God, we're holding that space for healing and clearing. So the other part of it is, as we're talking politically, socially, economically, as well as spiritually. We're finishing up the old classes at a furious pace right now and trying to get to the fun stuff, which is the message from Spirit, about the power of joy and the importance of laughter and healing and the importance of forgiveness and coming back to self-love and self-acceptance and self-worth, all of that. So yeah, the field is wide open to create anything we want. I really believe that. So like you were saying, you'd love more financial freedom. I'm with you on that one, my friend. This is a time when we can really see that manifest very elegantly. As we're saying, the synchronicities, my friend Annie, she was saying the other day, she'd seen 111, then she saw 222, then she saw 333, then she saw 444, then 111 again. She was like, it's really, really hopping and bopping out there.
Yeah, we just cannot avoid these signs. And as I mentioned to you offline, I came from a vacation in Mexico, and we went to visit Chichen Itza. On our way to the location, the guide started talking about, the spiritual side of Mexico, and we were amazed that he got into that subject. And not only that, but we stopped at a Mayan village, and we did energy clearing with smudging and water purification. And
Wow.
For others, maybe it was the first time, but for me, it was such a blessing to see the process, the shaman doing their own process. And I had with me, we met on that trip a indigenous couple from Newfoundland, and after that in the bus we were talking, said, wow, oh my God, they were doing the same thing, the same process we are doing back home, the smudging and the water. And he was also pleased to see that more people are exposed to this type of experiences, which if they live in a city and they don't go too far, they will never know about it.
Well, it's brilliant you're saying that. First of all, Chichen Itza has always just been, I would love to see that. You're very blessed to have gone there. Isn't that where the snake shadow goes up the stairway on the solstice? Yeah, he topped that, Mr. and Mrs. America. That's pretty incredible. But the water, again, coming back to the water, Claudiu, there's, I was on with Dr. Alex Ling. Have you heard him?
No.
Okay, well, I will put him, I'll put him in touch with you, or his work. Anyway, he's a very busy guy as well, but he's working with Sasha Stone and other people. But he was in Mexico for I think 3 to 6 months, something like that. He lives just across the Irish Sea in Cornwall in the UK there, and I was going to do a session with him at some point. I'm looking forward to that. But Sasha Stone had Dr. Alex Ling, and he also had Veda Austin, and so incredible conversation about water, which I know is one of your deep passions. But what I'm reaching for is that Dr. Ling would like people in different parts of the world to take responsibility for working with the consciousness of the water in each area of the earth. He's trying to build a network. So that would be, I think, a perfect fit for the two of you to talk about that.
Yes, quite interesting. And in fact, I tried to send a sample, a water sample from one of the springs nearby to Japan, to Dr. Emoto's son, to do Hiro, to do a test. It didn't work out because the distance is too far, and the water might change its properties, and so they might have to do that test locally if they come with their equipment.
Sure. Well, that's great. Yes, you were kind enough to give me his information as well. You're reminding me. There's, if people can, I mean, this is me telling you about water, ho ho ho. But if people can, learn that water holds consciousness or reflects consciousness or is consciousness, that's going to change some people's opinions about how reality works big time.
Yes, and in fact, I listened to another interview yesterday with the guy who does out-of-body experiences, young guy, Dwight, Wright or Dwayne Wright, something like that, not the actor, but a
Okay.
real guy.
Okay.
And he spends a lot of time out of body, and he gets messages. And water was the messages about water were very important. And he said, you can change the structure, you can do anything you want with the water. And we all say, or not all, but some of us know that we should say a prayer before we drink the water. So what else he mentioned was we should imagine a vortex, clockwise and anti-clockwise, and then we can drink the water, but because it creates different other properties within it and is much more beneficial when we drink it.
Yes. Yes. Well, the other thing is, do you know about these X39 stem cell patches?
You mentioned those to me a
Okay.
while back, yeah.
Sure. Well, that's still something worth exploring. I won't beat the drum too hard on that because it's a product, but I'm 3.5 months on it, and I'm still feeling the benefit and seeing people. So what that is this light, technology that it takes the infrared light and puts it back into the body, and that stimulates the production of stem cells, and that's creating miraculous healings for people. And that same inventor, David Schmidt, has now created a light water machine where you put a glass of water on the machine, and in 45 minutes, it will infuse light into the water, and then you drink it down, and everyone feels the benefit immediately. And the scientific measurement is that it reverses aging 2 to 3 years in 15 minutes. So
Wow.
this is coming out next year at some point. And the last thing about David and LifeWave is that Mickey Willis, who, do you know Mickey Willis at all?
I heard of him, yes, and I
Sure.
think
Okay.
he wrote
So,
some books.
well, he's an author. He is more known as a filmmaker. He did the Plandemic 1, 2, and 3, which alerted people, about what, and the jabs and all of that, with Judy Mikovits and then Dr. David Martin, and those have been seen a billion times. So anyway, Mickey, who also is one of my heroes, he's doing a documentary about David Schmidt and LifeWave, and that's going to come out in January. So when I saw David Schmidt, who is definitely a hero to me at this point with his healing abilities and his genius, and Mickey Willis, who has definitely also won my respect, the two of them together, I was like, well, here we go. This is the new paradigm right here. So I'm excited about all that.
Yeah, there are so many alternative ways of healing these days, and there is another one based on Tesla technology developed in Mexico. It's $10,000, and you get the machine, and you hold the kind of a light bulbs, and you hold it, and you put it on wherever the pain is. Again,
Right.
15, 20, 30 minutes later, the pain is gone. And
Okay.
there are, like, David Icke has one of those machines right now with his
Okay.
arthritis, and he's feeling much better. And there are other people like well known in
Sure.
the public eyes who are using it right now,
Sure.
and it's a very limited
Well, it's quite expensive.
exactly. And
Yes.
but again, you take it, you create a business out of it, and you can recoup your investment. But again, many alternatives, ways of healing coming forward.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even Dolores Cannon, in one of her books, said
Right.
that regular doctors might not be needed very soon because of everything we have available.
I could see that happening, my friend, especially with Bobby Kennedy, if he gets to be Secretary of Health and Human Services, which has the conventional world of pharmaceuticals and medicines pulling their hair out over the last 24 hours, which I just couldn't be happier about, frankly. It's been a long time, these last 5 years of all of this medical malpractice, quite honestly. The thing, the patches are $5 a day, and they also are helping people with Alzheimer's and autism and dementia, as well as pain and wounds. And, my hair is darker every day I get up and look in the mirror. It was white 3 months ago. So, yeah, it's exciting times.
Yes. Look, we all have in our life the point where we have to really trust God and let go. Was that Kundalini awakening your point, or you had many more afterwards?
Bless you. Bless you. You are just a breath of fresh air, my friend. God love you. You know, honestly, Claudio, I have my moments every day where I forget the plot. And, you know, the joy is that, you know, every time I crawl back up to the altar and ask to be reminded and to remember, you know, things become miraculous and good again. So it's my line is it's 2 steps up and 1 step back. But honestly, like we were saying a minute ago, I do feel really like the energies of this time are going to light a lot of people up that are open to that and not afraid of, you know, such deep intimacy and empowerment and loving service. You know, this is to me is the absolute key. I'm studying again for the first time in years the book A Course in Miracles, and I'm in a wonderful daily group you know, every morning, and we're remembering to forgive and to bless and to send love to, you know, those that we would hate or fear or judge or blame, and to recognize it's always an extension of our own unconsciousness and our own guilt, shame, and blame, you know, at ourselves. So that's a long answer to a very short question, but yes, the good news is, you know, spiritual awakening is a moment, and then, you know, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. But you might have a better attitude about chopping wood and carrying the water once you know that you're living in a self-perpetuating dream that's created by the unconditional love of a higher power that sees everything and knows everything. What's also lit me up, honestly, is I'm in a group called Speakeasy, which studies the Course on Sunday afternoons for the last year and a half or so, and I sing and play there quite often, which is a pleasure. And wonderful teacher named Maureen Muldoon, and so I follow her on Substack and all that she does. And I've done an interview with her. It's on my Awakened Spirits Network YouTube channel, and that we had that on Ian's thing, and it was seen 4,000 times on Listening to Smile. So that was lovely to see. But and I have a great teacher, Mia Sarah Williams, in the Irish group. But the thing I want to get to is Gary Renard, who's a wonderful author of The Course in Miracles. His story is, people need to know this one. He was in his living room one day, just an average American chap, a musician, living in Maine, I think. And he looks over at his sofa, and there's a man and a woman in this, you know, kind of timeless garb, and they say, you know, they're 2 ascended masters, and over the course of now 4 books, they have many conversations with him about Jesus and about the creation of the Course in Miracles, which was published in 1976 through Helen Schuckman and her scribe Bill Thetford, I think is his name. And it took them about 7 years to channel all this, but the Course has been a great source of inspiration for me. And then with Gary Renard's books, Disappearance of the Universe, Your Immortal Reality, Love Has Forgotten No One, and the years that Jesus and Buddha shared their lifetimes together, you know, my head was blown every single time. So those are great resources to just, you know, we live in this self-perpetuating projection, and when we come to love, it makes sense. And if we're not in love, it's difficult and hard. That's the simple version. So just to keep remembering that every day. And as we're saying, you know, with water, with being at sacred sites, with your prayer work, with your poetry and your writing and all the things you're doing, your great interviews, etc. You know, every time we're in our higher purpose, we can feel we're lifted up. You know, when I'm channeling, when I'm doing music, I'm in a whole other headspace, you know. And the secret is to stay connected to that, you know, when my mind is talking away, you know.
Yes, and like yourself, I have an inquisitive mind and I want to learn as much as possible. And there are so many books out there that I pray, God, please make me aware of everything. Give me as much knowledge as possible so that I don't have to go and buy these books because I need the time to read them. So if you give me this knowledge, if you download this knowledge onto me, then I don't have to go and spend that time. I can do something else which is much more beneficial. So
Sure,
Yeah, I
sure.
think it's impossible to capture all this knowledge in one lifetime. So that
Yeah,
download is it's
yeah,
paramount.
yeah. Bless your heart, my friend. I'm the same as you. The thing is, Claudiu, if we will remember that God knows what we need to know when we need to know it, and keep that conversation open. They like to use the term the Holy Spirit in the Course in Miracles. Holy Spirit has and is the bigger picture. So, my favorite word is devotion. As we are devoted to our family and our work and our home and our service to each other and the world and to spirit, the path is made clear, the door is open, the blockage is removed. So it's just remembering that and trusting it. Trust is the big. I think trust is where we separate the men from the boys on the spiritual journey. And again, I just have to say, Bobby Kennedy Jr., man, this guy's integrity and the depth of his character is just absolutely breathtaking. And I'll say the same for many other people that I've seen step up, Tulsi Gabbard and others as well. These are some really genuinely inspired human beings, and I'm just honored to see them step into a role of leadership and strive to live the ideals that America was created to express. And it's the same in Ireland. Ireland and America, of course, have a deep affinity and a deep connection with each other, not only in terms of the population and people going back and forth, et cetera, and families and marriage and all the rest of it, but the principles and the ideals that the countries were created on are very, very idealistic, very, very principled. So, there's great, these have been places of great moral struggle, I guess is the way to put it. And sadly, in the current moment of tremendous corruption, just breathtaking exploitation and deception. So as we start to crawl out from under that darkness, as Pluto leaves us and out of Capricorn and moves into Aquarius, people are going to begin to see the forest from the trees, like you and I have been blessed to do sometimes. And, it's going to change things. I've no doubt about it.
Yes, my only hope is that these guys will be able to influence Trump not to continue certain wars and
Yeah.
human killings and deaths and things like this, because
Yes.
that's a tragedy. So he has
Yes.
to stop all this from moving
Yeah.
forward and
Well, people
continuing.
pointed, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, people have pointed out to me, there weren't any wars when Trump was president, really, and that was like a noticeable thing. I'm very excited what I've seen so far in the last 10 days. And that's where I became a supporter of that whole team. And I think they're going to make some great changes and much needed. The world immediately became a safer place as far as I could see,
Yes,
which
hope
is
so.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see in the next
sure.
let's see if he gets in January 20 on January 20th, and then he will move forward full speed,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we'll see the consequences of that, or the
yeah,
results of that. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think that like the backstory a little bit here just is worth talking about. So somebody took a shot at him, at Donald, and missed him by that much, evidently, and that really got his attention. Can you imagine? And he called Bobby Kennedy. They spoke a few hours after that shooting, according to Bobby. And Trump asked him if he believed in God, and Bobby said, "Yes, I do." And Trump said, I'm beginning to reconsider this, or words to that effect. And he's been a kind of a bull in a china shop for a long time. But honestly, the other side lied about so many things and have created so many things out of whole cloth that turned out not to be at all true, that it was a bit shocking for me to see that. So again, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think he's a bit chastened, quite honestly. And I think he realizes that this is his moment, and I think he cares enough about his reputation to try to do the right thing if he can figure out what that is and trust the people around him to help him. So that's a lot, but we'll see what happens, as we say.
Yeah, I think as long as he is confident that his family is safe and no one can touch them, he might do a lot of damage in a good way, you know. So we'll
Yes,
bring things back where they're
I'm in
supposed to
favor
be.
of good damage. Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
think we need a little good damage to inflated reputations and inflated bank accounts from other people being exploited and manipulated. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Lou, I
You
would
know,
like to turn towards your work with spirit guides, your channeling. How exactly did they reach out to you, and how was that process for you?
sure. Thank you. So bibbity bobbity boop. The Convergence, the Kundalini, 1987, in Los Angeles. I studied channeling in, how to open to channel and things like that at somebody's house with a group of people. Cheryl Taylor, I think was her name. She was a wonderful teacher. She channeled a group called the Council of Love, I believe, and a Council of Light, they're telling me. And, you know, so, it's just channeling, is a skill anyone can learn to do. But like we say, the magic word is trust. And so what do I trust? How deeply do I trust it? And is this my truth now? And so what my guides have taught me is that trust is our connection to the deepest truth. What can we trust more than our truth? So when we know what our truth is, and that is building on this political conversation, we're deciding, is this true or is that true? Or is this person honest or is that person dishonest, whatever? So all of that is that weeding away of what is my truth and what do I believe? So when you do know the truth, like you and I are very blessed, this is part of the spiritual awakening. You come to the truth and you know what it is when you feel it. Your inner self and your personality and body and mind are lined up and you go, that's true, that's important, that's meaningful, that's valuable, that's a good person, that's a good thing to do, that's a good project to support, whatever. Your heart rings, you light up from within. So when I took that class and then I went to another teacher, Susan Drew, and she did a reading for me and she held my hands and sent this energy into me and said, now you'll start channeling your guides. And from that day forward, I have been channeling my guides, my higher self and soul and spirit, I call them. And it's like turning on a light switch, and it's like the sun breaks through a cloudy day. You feel the energy, it's there for a while, then it says, okay, we're done. Or when I'm done, when I'm feeling a little weary or whatever, I'm conscious of it, and I can bring it in and I hold on to it and it works through me, through my conscious mind. So that's how that works, and that was very, very helpful. And I did that for 5 years, and then was also studying the practitioner program with Reverend Michael Beckwith at Agape, of spiritual counseling and things like that. And then my friends invited me to come with them and do my channeling. They were on tour in the Midwest, and I went. And after trying to get out of LA for quite some time, I just stayed. I just lived in Arkansas, in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and had lovely friends there, took great care of me. And then Kansas City, Missouri. So that got me started. And then I wasn't really making a living channeling until I came to Europe. And that seemed to make a big difference, especially here in Ireland. And, I'm not doing a lot of it every day or every week. I'm happy to do it when people ask me to do it. But, mostly I'm doing the interviews and the music and, other projects. But yeah, it's still very dear to me. I'm happy to do it anytime.
So if anyone will ask you for a personal
Yeah,
channeling, you'll be able to do
yeah,
that.
yeah. I'll give you a sample right here and now if you like.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
sure.
Yeah,
What,
quite unexpected, unscripted. That's great.
well, yes. I mean, if there's no surprises, what's the point, Yeah, is that all right?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So, and you might have a question or two, and we'll do it that way as well, but I'll just jump in. So go ahead and close your eyes. Thanks, Claudiu. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. All right. God bless you, dear friends. Here we go. Quick and easy. Everyone, another deep breath. Relax and release. Relax and release. Imagine 7 stars, relax and release, spiraling down through time and space. Touch the crown. Take a nice deep breath. And let those 7 stars align with the 7 chakras, crown, third eye, throat, and heart. Another good breath. Down we go, the will center, the navel, the sacral, the root, and down hips, legs, feet into Mother Earth. Another good breath. And let go, let go, let go. God bless you, dear friends. Wonderful. All right, well, give us a moment here, dear friends. Let's talk about this time of awakening, healing, and growth, Claudiu, dear brother. That is your soul's purpose. And you are a bright and a beautiful light who is opening the door for many at this powerful and important time, dear friend. You're right on time, right on your path, well on your way, dear friend. Absolutely. Your guides are cheering you on over here, dear friend. Well done, well done. Dear friends, for our brother here and for everyone, patience is a tricky thing, isn't it? God bless you. The divine timing of everything. And the hunger and thirst after wisdom and knowledge, Claudiu, you've got that in spades, dear friend. God love you. So yes, take time and make space for peace as often and as deeply as possible. You know this. And be trusting and grateful and patient and attentive that what you're asking for is in divine order. And you are the cooperative component, as our friend Abraham would say here, dear friend. You're the receptive aspect of the desires, the receiving aspect of the desires that you're putting forth. So it's, yeah, it is 2 steps up, 1 step back for everyone. And in this time of acceleration, dear friends, intensification and purification, there is still more in the unconscious mind, more in the world of pain and fear and judgment and hatred and all of that, which is coming up to the surface, the darkness coming up to the surface individually and collectively. God bless you indeed, dear friends, so that you can let it go, dear friends. The way we invite you to let it go is to forgive, 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 1,000 times forgive, dear friends. And even then forgive. And as you do, each time you will be blessing your relationship to the illusions of separation and standing more powerfully and beautifully in the light of the Almighty, dear friends, showing you that path of awakening, healing, and growth. So Claudiu, for yourself, dear one, full speed ahead. And we're happy to answer any questions you might have for us here today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's quite unexpected. I'm trying to
Well, was that a good
focus.
beginning?
It's very good beginning
All
because
right.
I was shaking. I've been
Oh,
shaking
good for
since you
you.
started. So the energy is coming through, which is amazing.
Thank you.
I
Thank you. Well,
was
that's you. You see, that's your energy, dear friend. So take a deep breath into that. How do you like that?
great.
Yes.
Is any
Nothing, dear one, our turn, and then we'll hear from you. Nothing is outside of you, and nothing is outside of your field of possibilities, which seems too simple and too easy, dear friend. But it's time for simple and easy, because it has been complex and complicated long enough. And that is the end of the duality, the illusions of separation. So yeah, go gently into that path of loving service and know that it is calling you and supporting you, dear friend. Go right ahead.
So you mentioned that patience is a virtue, and sometimes I know I want to achieve more in a much shorter period of time because I want to be in service, and I fully believe that this is the mission
Yeah.
on this lifetime. So is that going to happen anytime soon? If with all the patience I will put towards it.
God bless you, dear friend. Well, if you want to speed it up, slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in other words, the journey and the destination are one and the same. The quality of getting there is the process of getting there is the quality of being there. So as you can let in that all that you're asking for is yours in truth already, and that you are becoming more consciously accepting of and grateful for the mental and the emotional components together of the divine timing of the miracles and the information and processes coming to you that fit all the puzzle pieces together beautifully. You see, I guess the word we're reaching for here, dear friend, is humility, which is not to be as meek as the dust and less than anyone else, but absolutely in terms of trust, being in that divine feminine aspect of being magnetic and irresistible, knowing that you're magnetic and irresistible, better said, to that which you're asking for. Does it make sense?
Yes.
In other words, simply put, dear friend, what you're reaching for is available to you at all times. And your acceptance of that and your devotion to that and your gratitude for that makes your receiving of that effortless.
Yes, I accepted the mission, and it's just a matter of, in my opinion, it's just a matter of time till the fully activation will take place. And I
Well, dear
know.
friend, time, sorry, 1 second, Claudio, excuse us. Time is a function of consciousness. And so when one believes that it takes time, then it will take time. When one believes that it's outside of time, then it will show up outside of time. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
In other words, well, thank you. In other words, dear
Mhm.
friend, God bless you. We
Thank you.
appreciate that. Yeah, we let us tell you, you are in divine timing, and the channel and everyone listening is in divine timing of everything you're asking for, to the degree and in the ways that you accept it and believe it about yourself. That's the work, you see. So prayer and meditation and affirmations and vision boarding and keeping a journal and et cetera, those are ways of quieting the mind, of quieting your spirit, of turning down the monkey mind, and of holding that place of conscious belief and openness and trust and gratitude in advance of before the experience manifests itself. In other words, as you think, so it is, as you believe, so it is, etc., dear friends. We all know that. So there's nothing being held from you. Everything is held for you. And when you're at 51% of knowing that in your body, mind, spirit, it must manifest as your experience in some form or fashion. How do you like that?
Thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
know that my teachers right now are the Arcturian Council of Light.
Very good.
And the question is, am I going to get involved with other teachers after they are done with me?
Well, dear friend, we don't see that happening tomorrow. And there are other teachers that are well able to work with you. But we think you've got a good fit right now for what you're doing and what you're working on. Absolutely. These are powerful beings who see the bigger picture that you have lifetimes of experience with. So drink from that cup first. Yeah. And what is helpful next will show up in its divine timing, dear friend. We don't feel it that you're not being served. Put it in the positive. You are being served very well by your current guides, dear friend, is our perspective here.
Oh,
Would you
yes.
agree?
Yo,
Okay.
totally agree. Yes,
Well, all
it's
right.
feeling me daily. That's amazing.
There you go, dear friend. Beautifully said. You see, Claudio, you have great light in your spirit, dear friend, and your heart is wide open. And dear friend, we think sometimes because you have to divide your time between more mundane ways of supporting yourself and your family and all that, versus these moments that really light you up, we would invite you to see that they're really two sides of the same coin. And when you're not either attached or in resistance to what you're asking for, or the opposite of what you're wanting, then you're much more, you see, this is the Buddhist teachings here, you're much more receptive to how the universe wants to bring it to you, and it speeds the journey up considerably, you see, because does this make sense so far?
Yes, it does.
All right, dear friend, you're doing very well. So you see, the Octurians are saying here, dear friend, part of your purpose in this lifetime is to prepare and to communicate with your world that there are other forms of life out there, the Pleiadians and the Syrians, etc., and all of these different groups, many. The channel was seeing this talked about in Congress yesterday, much to his amazement. Danny Sheehan, Michael Schellenberger, these sorts of people, Luis Elizondo, all of that. So yeah, they're putting the word out there that the game is changing, and you will be one of those for sure that helps people to see reality in a deeper way in terms of your connection to your guides, bringing more of their energy into this world and others as well.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions because the energy
Okay.
is too strong right now. And
God bless you, dear friend. You're doing beautiful. Yeah. So be at peace. Know that all is well, that all is in divine timing. There are no accidents. Everything is reality unfolding at the highest level of agreement. And those things which are triggers are truly treasures because they help everyone see what am I holding on to or resisting that's standing between me and the next step of my joyous journey home. Dear friend, peace and blessings. All is well. We love you madly. Namaste.
love you too. Thank you very much. Wow. It's very powerful. Very powerful. I
Thank you.
just couldn't stop shaking.
Thank you.
I have to
Well,
refrain myself from shaking.
yeah,
I
buddy.
mean, wow.
Wonderful. Well, see, Claudio, my friend, you have such a lovely heart. You care madly, deeply, truly. You know, you're in it all the way, and Spirit absolutely knows that about you and me and all of us that are listening to this conversation. You know, that's why we're all getting back together in this new time. So I'm just excited to see what will happen next for you because, you know, as we're saying, the energies are really, really coming on very strong these days, and it's going to have a big impact on all of us.
Yes. In fact, I was driving yesterday and I felt the energy coming through my body and shaking. I said, please, not here. I'm driving, not now. So,
Right.
yes, I have these type of
Ooh,
moments.
right. Right.
Look, that
Well,
was beautiful. Thank you again.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Um, you know, the like we're talking about synchronicities a minute ago, and you meeting your friend from Romania and your childhood, 40 years later, and the two of you, just in positive shock is my favorite phrase. And when we know there are no accidents, like as I said, for me, getting back to the Course in Miracles, there's a prayer here. I'm gonna grab it. There we go. So I can read it here. We'll start with a prayer. We'll finish up with a prayer. He says, the Course says, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal.
Beautiful.
Yes. So when I can get out of my own way for 5 minutes and remember that, I go, oh, that's right. I don't have to carry the world on my shoulders.
Yes.
So,
Lou, we both have and had amazing guests on our podcasts and interviews. And from time to time, I really get impacted by them. And like David and Vivica, they did an amazing live transmission for me.
wonderful.
Also,
Yes.
Kathy did the Akashic Record reading. You just did this amazing channeling as well.
Thank you.
um, Livia Devi's meditation
Yes.
activated me with the Arcturian Council of Light. So when you work with,
Livia and I are old friends. I
yes,
used to see Livia at my place and work with her. She's a hero.
yes, I listened to your interview with her.
Right,
So
right.
yes,
I'm
yeah.
so proud of her. I'm just blown away by what she's accomplished. Yeah.
And
Sorry.
I want to know if you also been impacted by this interaction with your guests on
Oh,
a
sure.
weekly, monthly basis.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I know all those people you just mentioned there and some quite well. I mean, when you were asking me about traveling, I'm hoping to go over and see David and Vivica in Spain, in the near future. Um, oh, these are extraordinary teachers. And as I said, no one has surprised me more than Livia Devi, who, bless her, was, this lovely young lady who was weeping about her bad relationship when I met her. And now she's conquered the world as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just in awe of her. I think she's a genius. She is so brilliant and her teachings are so advanced. Yeah, there's some amazing people out there. And we're all privileged to know each other. The great gift of all of this, Claudiu, as we're coming down the home stretch here, is that everyone has this potential inside of themselves, and honestly, genius and love are connected. The more we love ourselves and the more we love each other, the more, the world is just, ready, willing, and able. The world is our oyster, and everything is possible. So as we can remember that, it makes the journey a lot sweeter and a lot more exciting. But definitely, man, this is the tipping point. This is the big moment. I was joking with my friend Annie, and it was about all this stuff that's happened politically in America, just shockingly good. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter who you voted for. I think things are lighting up all of a sudden. And I said, this is the second American Revolution. I may have said that earlier. And there was a song by Gil Scott-Heron, a wonderful rapper and poet and musician, said the revolution will not be televised. And
Yes.
the one, yeah. And it turns out it will be, actually, Gil, but you got everything else right. So yeah, I mean, people are just, what's happening right now is the old game is ending and the new game is beginning. And the old game is about teams and division and assumptions and, us versus them. And the new game is about unification and cooperation and spiritual values and integrity and honesty and all of that. So once people start figuring out this isn't just us versus them, it's actually about our values and how deeply we're aligned to them, then I think everyone's going to start realizing, things truly have changed. And that's what I'm seeing right now. So I'm just thrilled about all of it. And yes, we're very blessed. I'm blessed to know you and all these wonderful people you mentioned. And yeah, we're lighting a path, man. It's a joy.
Yes, and I hope to see a televised revolution in Canada as well very soon.
Yes. Yes, me too, brother. Me too. I have a good. You're one of many friends I have in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
And Ireland, we need it in Ireland. They need it in the UK. Everyone's hanging by a thread in these countries at the moment. Australia.
Yeah, New Zealand, everywhere. Exactly.
Right. Well, here we go.
Yes.
Let's get them, as they say.
Power to the people. Yes.
Power to the people. There you go. Yes.
Hello, my brother. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to have you on my show, and many blessings to you, and health and prosperity and everything else you wish for.
Thank you, my dear friend. God bless you, brother, and be well, you and your family, your loved ones. And let's know that grace walks with us every step of the way, and that all is truly well.
Thank you. And to my viewers, thank you. To my viewers, thank you for watching. Visit us on gnostictv.com, on spiritualinspired.ca. And until next time, love and gratitude.